Gracie Jiu Jitsu rocks. Welcome to the Gracie Jiu Jitsu Rocks podcast, a podcast dedicated to Gracie Jiu Jitsu and all things Gracie, including self-defense, competition, anti-bullying, women's self-defense and empowerment, nutrition, and most especially, the people involved in Gracie Jiu Jitsu. This podcast is for the average Joe. It's for anyone who practices, trains, teaches, or just loves to talk about or hear about Gracie Jiu Jitsu. We'll explore the lives of Gracie Jiu Jitsu practitioners, how they got involved in the art, and what effect it's had on their lives. So buckle up and enjoy the ride. Welcome to episode 95 of the Gracie Jiu Jitsu Rocks podcast. As always, I'm your host, Marty Josie, and thanks for listening. My guest today is Royler Gracie black belt, Professor Regis Libre, and we'll get to that in just a moment, but before we do, I want to remind you to please like and follow our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as YouTube, and we're trying to build as big a presence there as possible. So if you haven't done that already, please make a point to do so, and I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget, you can also subscribe to the show on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube. And as always, if you'd like to support the show, you can do that via our Patreon page. Okay, on to the interview. Professor Regis Libre is a 4th degree black belt under Master Royler Gracie and head instructor of Gracie Humaita San Diego. In this interview, Professor Regis talks about his recent surgery, the recent World Championships and what stands out about it, his competitive career and what makes someone successful in competition, his time at Maxercise, including his relationship with Steve Maxwell and DC Maxwell, as well as Zac Maxwell, his transition to San Diego, the importance of self-defense, jiu-jitsu for everyone, learning from Master Royler and Grandmaster Helio, how he got his black belt in under 5 years, being a single father, and what he's most proud of, and more. So I know you're going to enjoy this interview. After the interview, make sure you stick around for the Make a Difference, Make an Impact segment. And now, without further ado, let's talk to Regis. Okay, I'm speaking with Professor Regis Libre, 4th degree black belt under Master Royler Gracie and head of Gracie Humaita in San Diego, California. So welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure and honor to be interviewed by you.
Oh, my pleasure and honor for sure, sir. So right now you're in kind of a challenging situation. You recently had surgery. So tell us what's going on with that, sir.
I think it's like I just a hernia could help if anyone. I just came from nowhere, and I was struggling with for 3 or 4 months to see if I could hold a more to do some hard training competition, but it started bothering me very much, so I decided to get done sooner, and I'm glad I just done that. That's good. My hernia, my groin is done. My ashes, I have like herniated discs on my neck, but it's part of the many years of training. It's often done. I go back and forth. Sometimes I have stiff days, but once I get my posture straight and then things are good, I have a normal life. But when things get, my body gets bad posture, gets kind of stuff, and I have to stop training for a little bit.
I gotcha.
That's my life as a fighter, you know.
Sure. All the wear and tear over the years definitely takes its toll, doesn't it?
Yes.
So you got some herniated discs that tend to flare up at times, depending on your posture, and kind of, I probably I can imagine if you've been overloading it and training a lot, and then you recently had this hernia in your groin and had surgery for that. Was that jiu-jitsu related or other?
The groin, I cannot tell if it was jiu-jitsu related, but could be, maybe to do much strength or train too much, but I doubt it. I think this came, when I was a kid, I had one in my left side, and then I was like probably 2 or 3, but this came out very quick, and then I already finished the surgery. I just have to be careful with my recovery to don't have to redo it.
Sure.
But this is not something like is a problem for me. My big problem is my herniated discs, which sometimes make me stop for a long time, and then. But there's nothing to complain. It's just to learn from it, you know.
Do you do anything ongoing to kind of help that, like sports massage or chiropractic or anything like that?
I do. I see a Brazilian physiotherapist very good who do a lot of posture exercise with me, a lot of breathing exercise, a lot of stretches, you know.
Nice.
Pretty much I have to correct a lot of my way to sleeping, otherwise things get worse.
Yeah.
After such age, you have to be careful even the way we sleep, otherwise we can't train, you know, much. And I mean, if I would just like to teaching, I would probably not have less of problems. But I still enjoy training very much. I like training technical, but I also like training hard, you know. So
yes,
it's, you know, as you train, you know, it's addiction, you know.
Absolutely, and you still like to push it at this point. And I know you were just at the Worlds, the Mundials. So what was it like? What was that like for you? And is there anything that stands out about this year's competition there?
I was there coaching some people, but most like learning is the level is so high now. There's so many big talents over there. It's so nice to see Jiu-Jitsu get to such a nice level, and then the evolution is amazing me so much. It was a clinic for me, you know. It was a big Disneyland. Look a lot of answers there, a lot of options, and I really enjoy it. I'm a big fan of the sport, the competition area, so it was very fun for me to see for that side. As a coach, I have a couple of people with a good promise to go, but you know, it's a big competition, and it's hard. So some people did well, someone's falling halfway. So, but we learned a lot. So it was a good competition. It was a good tournament to progressing. You know.
Well, we never stop learning, right?
Never.
I'm sure you've seen a lot of changes over the years with that competition. What stands out in your mind about how that event has changed over the years?
I noticed the jiu-jitsu strategy, the games make a lot of things change. Like if you see, like probably 10 years ago, people would fight a lot with the knees on the ground by smashing, and then it still is a good thing as long as you can beat the hooks and then get such a line. You should pass the line of the hip. But nowadays I see people standing up and multi-passing the guard, which kill a lot of games. And then the pace, the athleticism of people change a lot. What people call gentle art, you know, like it still won't be a gentle art, but if you just go there for competition, just try to be gentle, you don't be in good shape, you fail in the first round. But that's what I see the difference a lot. A lot physical too. Not that it's not technical, but you sure have to be super technical. But if you be the best technical guy, don't be super prepared physically, you won't go far.
I see. So you still want to be technical to the highest level, but now it seems like it's a lot more important with those physical attributes and developing those, strength and conditioning and that kind of thing at a much higher level to succeed.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think, I mean, it's a very tough sport, and then if you be the best shape in life, you don't understand the game, you fail too. So you have to have both in the same equal level, understanding. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Physical
absolutely.
and technical.
Gotta have it all.
Yeah.
You had a nice, long and outstanding competitive career yourself with a lot of different events and competitions, including the Rio de Janeiro State Championships, Brazilian National Championships, World Titles, Brazilian National Team Championships, and Pan Ams, and the list goes on. So what do you feel like was the most important ingredient for your success in competition?
I think I came from a very good school, and people inspired me a lot in the past, in sense of when I was a beginner. I think the love for the sport, and then for the see my idols at the time be next to me motivated me a lot. So that was my gasoline, my combustion. I always was a lover of jiu-jitsu. Now I always try to keep learning. I never get settled in sense of I got it all here. I always were very curious. So I think the curiosity about the art, the respect about the art, and then the interest about get better all the time, that was my big motivation.
Wonderful. So competition has been a big part of your life, not only competing but coaching, and you've certainly been very successful in both those realms. What about self-defense, the self-defense aspect of jiu-jitsu? How important is that to you, and how important do you think it is across the country and the world these days?
I think it's funny you ask this question because it's very related to what I say to everybody. I'm a big fan of competition, but when I have 300 students, I probably have like less than 10% of my students competing. I probably say I would have like 15 or 20 people who take competition very seriously, and then some of those guys are fathers who sometimes cannot train like people train nowadays. If you see a competitor nowadays who's winning, he probably trains 6-7 hours a day, and when somebody like come to the gym 1 hour a day, 5 days a week, is not fair to go to a competition, try to win. You asked about my competition time. I compete a lot, but I always was very busy teaching. I enjoy teach a beginner the same way I enjoy teach a competitor, although I really like the hard train. But most of my timing in the academy, I've been doing self-defense for beginners or class for beginners, or help my instructors to see the side of jiu-jitsu. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about goals in jiu-jitsu. I think if you have the only goal of compete, you can be a very poor jiu-jitsu fighter or jiu-jitsu person, I think jiu-jitsu competition is just a little percentage of the sport. Like Master Royler like to say, jiu-jitsu is everything. Jiu-jitsu is kicking, is punching, is clinching, is self-defense. It also has competition. But the competition, what people see most, is what competition, what advertise an individual. But my academy, if 50 people won't compete, if I put like that. So it's like, most of my friends, which I hanging out, all my students are my friends, but the ones I hanging out most, they don't compete, like they have families, they have jobs, they love jiu-jitsu. They compete if they sell. They train hard, but when it comes to competition, becoming much more harder to do, like you have to sacrifice things, and then you train a little harder and you get injuries. And then I think the big competition for a instructor like me is don't lose a student for an injury, not for something else, because self-defense is when somebody, I have students, yesterday I just graduated a guy who was 69 years old for blue belt. That's awesome. A big pleasure to me. I have students, I have actually 6 students over 6 years old, that's I keep seeing myself. I want to see I'm hurt for 1 year, and then I can't live without compete though, but live without training is a boring life, you know what I mean? I really enjoy training.
You just said a lot of very cool things, and I love hearing about a 69-year-old and anybody that's been that far along in life and is still doing jiu-jitsu. I think that's amazing, and I think it just reinforces the notion that jiu-jitsu is for everybody. And I think sometimes we can lose that idea if we're only focused on the high-level competitions and things like that. As great as that is, that aspect of jiu-jitsu, for jiu-jitsu to be for everybody, we also got to remember, the self-defense and the camaraderie and all the other reasons that people do jiu-jitsu as well who aren't competing. So, awesome.
Yeah, Professor Helio Gracie and my sensei Helio always say that, man. I mean, people start things upside down. I mean, somebody should learn self-defense, the basic first, but then you can see very talented competitors who can really has a guard very hard to pass. They know how to do the points, but if they come for a situation of self-defense, I mean, I believe every black belt can protect themselves, but in the proper way is a different story. I mean, you're not going to have a fight to put somebody 50-50, like you put Spider Guard,
Right.
I mean, if you have a scramble in a fight, you go to the ground, eventually you know what to do. But, well, if you're going to have a fight with someone to protect yourself and you tear yourself up all to just do what you do in the academy, it's not the same thing what the Gracie Academy teach you. I mean, you can easily, if you know the self-defense program, you can easily protect yourself. Not easy, if it's a fight, can be other problem, but you have a better chance than when somebody doesn't know that. Like how I like to say, it's better know you don't use it than don't know you need it.
Absolutely, well said. So let's back up a little bit and talk about how you initially got introduced to jiu-jitsu and kind of how you progressed through the ranks.
I started training jiu-jitsu when I was 17 years old, and I started training the best the worst way. I was in a little party, and then I have a disagreement with a guy. The guy used jiu-jitsu on me, and then I didn't know what it was. I didn't even say the name what it was. And I said, man, what this guy did on me? I was embarrassed. The guy put me on the ground. I have no marks. I feel humiliated because the guy was mounting on me, and then I stand up. What this guy did? Then next day I was in the gym, and then get caught the first train and never stopped ever since.
So it really made an impression on you. You wanted to learn it right away.
And I would not say make an impression, make me scared of my life. Man, the guy could really hurt me out there. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what it was. I just feel like very unprotected. I feel like the guy could do anything he wanted at that moment,
Yeah.
And I decided to learn that, and then was the best decision I did. That was the best beat I ever got in my life. It was bringing me to where I am right now.
Yeah, it really opened your eyes to what you needed.
Yeah.
So what was the next step after you got introduced? Where did it go from there?
Well, I changed my life completely. I stopped going out. I stopped eat bad. I stopped party, drink much more, and then I get very addicted, and then I start training all day, and then I get all stay all day in the gym. What people do nowadays, I used to do 20 years ago, and then some people say, you get a black belt very easy. I would not say I get a black belt quick because I was talent. I think I get black belt quick because I train all day, and an average person take 1 or 2 hours in the gym a day. I used to stay 7 or 8. So
wow.
If you divide like that, I took my black belt in less than 5 years. But if you divide by time, if you're an average person, I probably took 15 years if you divide in time like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So people may jump to conclusions on that and hear that you under 5 years you got a black belt, and like you said, they may think that was pretty fast. But when you really add up all the time spent, like you said, that was a lot of years worth of training that you've put in.
Yeah, I would love to say I was the most talented guy like that. No, I was a very hard work guy, and then have a lot of passion and motivation for the sport. And then if you have motivation, I think everything is easy,
Absolutely. So where did it progress from there, and what led you to coming over to the States?
Well, I early saw I could not make a living in Brazil by being an instructor, and then the Grace Academy opened doors for a lot of opportunities here. And then I always want to come here because I always have the interest to come here to America. But then I came my first time I came to America was a black belt. I came to a Pan American game, and then and I saw here. Then I got invited to a seminar. I don't have any English, and then I did the seminar. I got super well paid for the time, and I saw how people treat me, how people want to learn. And then I come back to Brazil, and people start inviting me to come back here to do classes, seminars. So I came for 1 year or two, and then I moved out here.
And where you ended up first when you got to the States was with Steve and DC Maxwell, correct?
Yeah, I first came to Philadelphia. Then I lived there like 9 years. I moved here. Do you know the 2001 what's called attempt for the what's called the terrorist attack?
Yeah, the 9/11. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have my ticket to come actually in the week of the attempt. So I have to transfer my ticket for 1 week after to move here, because I moved 1 week exactly 1 week after, because I was in New York, so I would come to Philadelphia. So the all flight was canceled, and I had to come 1 week after. I remember that well.
Wow, I bet that was a crazy time to end up in the States, right? With all that had just happened. No?
I didn't. Yeah, I was the country was shaking, everything, but I didn't feel any effect of that. I mean, people was talking about it, but at the time it was so amazing, my life changing, everything. This never affected me. I never felt the country was punish everybody else because that. I have a regular life, and everything was very good for me, and I cannot complain about nothing. I was sorry I helped it, but for me it was for me nothing had to change. I mean, I see people scared, everything like that, but the tragedy. But for my steps, wasn't nothing which interfere with my steps. You know what I mean? Just delayed my flight 1 week.
Sure. So you were in Philadelphia for a good 8 or 9 years. What was your time at Maxercise like?
Oh man, that was my everything. You know, Maxercise is my best memories. I have my best students, competitors. I identify myself as a instructor. You know, like I have a great students over there. I still have one of the best friends I made in life was in Philadelphia. I'm so grateful for DC Maxwell and Steve Maxwell to bring me here. They not just bring me here. They taught me English. They took my papers. They treat me as a son, and then they are wonderful persons. You know, they had a school whose people left the school, and I came back and I came here, and then to over there, and then we have a very nice team together, and then without their help, I could not be as successful as I was in Philadelphia. Steve taught me a lot. Steve actually healed my body in a lot of weakness I had. I just have good things to talk about this Steve Maxwell. Like, they are like parents for me here. You know?
Yeah, they're wonderful. I had the opportunity to have Steve on the show, and he's always, of course, very interesting with a lot of incredible information to share. But he was talking about when his son Zac, he was training Zac up until a certain point, and then at a certain point he felt like he had taken him about as far as he could go, you know, with the whole father and son dynamic that can kind of come into play. And so he said he put him under your instruction and let you be the coach, and that was just like, wow, everything just took off to even higher level at that point.
I think I help a lot. I think they trust me something. Not that Steve wasn't capable, he was too busy, and then he was like too busy as a great personal trainer. He would take care of the beginners class, take care of the advantage, because that's what they bring me here for. And then Zac, me get identified right away. Not right away, last 1 year. Zac didn't like too much the pressure of, he had it from his dad. It was a bad pressure, it's just a father pressure, you know, like I understand that well because I have a son now, you know.
Yes.
And then, but Steve was a great father for him, and a great instructor too, right? I didn't replace nothing. It's just he gave him the honor of keeping going the work because you know how good he is in personal training. He was just too busy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So DC was a manager over there, and then she is a great personal trainer too. So she have no time to do that. Plus, DC is one of the women's most loved jiu-jitsu I ever see. She's so passionate about jiu-jitsu, but she started jiu-jitsu a little late, and then her mind, her body never agree with stuff, you know, like she always behaved like she was 18, but she wasn't. And then she was one of the toughest girls I ever seen the mat, and then she was on the first American black belt, and then I helped a lot building her jiu-jitsu, and she believe me, and she was a tough girl in the mat, you know, like very, very inspiring. I wish she would be 10 years young when she was around me, because she had a lot of energy, but a lot of injuries too, you know.
Yep. So what made you make the decision to go from there to San Diego, and what it was like? What was it like when you got there for your jiu-jitsu?
I never left Philadelphia because the city or the people. No, that I love the people. I love the city. I still do love them. Was the weather? The weather, not even the cold much. What bothered me was the dark of the cold. You know, like would make me down. I come from places sunshine all day. I mean, besides night, right? Like Brazil, I'm from Fortaleza. Like Fortaleza, there's no winter. Like they rain or it's hot. You know, it's like too sunny all the time. And then I never thought that would affect me. It took me 4 years, 5 to realize that would keep me a little depressed or down. I have people I love around me. I have everything I needed, but I could not deal with the dark of the weather. You know, It like affects a lot my life. I don't know.
Yeah,
the big reason was that too.
I can certainly appreciate that. I grew up in Florida, and the first time I lived away from Florida up north, I had the same effect. It definitely was hard to deal with that darkness. It just kind of affects you. But so you went to San Diego and have really made a home for yourself there for the last several years. What's life like there?
It's very different. The competition here is, man, San Diego has so many gyms. It's a different life. I mean, I love the city. It looks like real, you know, but with more rules and I don't know. It's like around my gym probably has like 15 gyms in a mile, 2 miles around. So it's a lot. There's great gyms, like great competitors have small gyms. There's everything around here. So in terms of jiu-jitsu, it's good. It has a lot of good academies, has some bad ones, but it has a lot of competition, which make you work double hard and everything else like that.
Absolutely. So what about when you're not on the mat competing or teaching? Do you have any hobbies that you do, or do you have time to do any other hobbies besides jiu-jitsu?
It's funny how you say that. My hobby is training, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes Holly comes to the gym and say, man, you have to do something else. You have to come to surf. I say, well, when I have time to do something else, I train more. But lately, last year, I've been hurt, so I have to invent myself in sense of what I do and stuff. I enjoy my son. I have to. I'm a single father, so I try to divide my time properly. I enjoy a lot to see my son growing and spend time with him, helping him. The school helped me a lot too, and then learn the language better. And then as my son 8 years old already correct me in my English is like funny. Very funny.
Wow.
And then,
that's cool.
Yes.
What's his name?
Yeah. His name is Hawan.
Hawan? and you say he's around 8. What's your favorite thing that you guys do together?
My son is a kid, he comes to the gym, but he doesn't care much. He trains because sometimes I force him, but I try to not force. I just make him do at least twice a week. Mm-hmm. My son likes toys, like play, like to be a kid. He's a very kind and sweet kid. He's not aggressive. He's not like. He's just a sweet kid. He's a kid.
That's great. That's great. There's nothing like being a dad, right? There's nothing like it.
Oh, well, I have the theory you find out what is love when you have a kid,
That's true. Man, I've said it many times that, before I had kids, I thought I knew what love was, and maybe I did on one level, but when you have kids, it's just a whole different kind of love, man.
Yeah, I cannot compare the love I have for a woman or for Jiu Jitsu for my kids. What I have for my kids is above all. So it's your father.
It's true, man. Absolutely. It's incredible. So let's talk about Master Royler and your relationship with him. So I think you met him a long time ago while you still lived in Brazil. So you've known him many years, been right there with him many years. Tell us a little bit about how that relationship developed and kind of what that means to you to be so close to him.
Royler is kind of like a father for me, like you laugh together, you argue. It's a very honest relationship. We were always together. He went through all my belts, I also was his dummy, as a blue belt. I never cheat in his class but I always was his dummy. He would use me. He would let me be the guy for the guy repeat position. He would let me watch his class. He gave me the idea of being what I am today. He gave me the vision. He gave me the knowledge. He opened the doors. He's my friend and like my instructor, somebody like a father dad. You have good moments, you have arguments, but overall he's family for me, So he's a guy I have a lot of gratitude and respect for,
Well, it sounds like he's
And then I helped them come to America first than him. And then I moved to San Diego. Coincidence, he came to San Diego. He didn't choose San Diego because of me or because somebody else. He chose San Diego because matched his lifestyle, like Royler. I don't know what it's been. See, I trained just for 24 years, right? And then Royler trained just for over 50. I don't know what is that, 50 years. Because I still have a life before Jiu-Jitsu. So I don't think Royler ever had it. And then sometimes when people ask him to do something, come to competition, he loves it. But man, it's like, I don't know what is be him, but I can guess it's like, he loves surfing, he like laugh, he like do stuff, but he's always busy. If you go around the tournament for Royler, he enjoy see the fans and stuff, but man, he has never break. He cannot stay 5. If you go for Royler for a tournament, he cannot stand a minute without take 1 or 2 pictures,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much famous you are. At one point you probably get tired, It's like, I'm not that famous, and then sometimes it's not, you need your privacy. I don't know what it'll be, how it'll be like, so.
Yeah, I'm sure it takes a lot of energy to not only be on the go and doing so much, but also, to be there for, like you said, fans when you're at events and just so many things he's got going on. It's got to be exhausting.
Yeah, he be well with. I never see he be rude. I see a lot of the new generation stars. They don't have 10% of what they have in sense of fans and reputation, but some ones are rude, some are fake humble. They always treat everybody well, always respectful to everybody, always kind. But he have his private life too, and sometimes people don't understand that.
Yeah, he's certainly a class act and a very honorable person. I was lucky to have him on the show as well, and it was really an honor and a lot of fun to do that, so it's great. Anybody listening who haven't heard that episode or the Steve Maxwell, definitely check those out as well. So you've had a long time and a lot of experience in Jiu Jitsu. What would you say has brought you the most joy about jiu-jitsu?
The most joy is carry a student to white belt to black belt and see. I have many black belts, man. It's even hard to. I probably have over 40 black belts, but someone's already came as a purple, someone's already came as a brown, but most of them came as white to black. That's a pleasure to me, I have some guys so loyal to me they came as a purple, and then the loyal person is a loyal person. But when I see loyalty and then hard work, I admire people who work hard. I admire people who overcome their fears, and then they believe in the art, and then keep working hard. That's the most joying thing. I see people coming to the gym scared sometimes. They can barely look in your eyes, and then you just change this person to make a person confident, and then this is my joy. This is make what I do be worth it.
Yeah, so seeing that transformation in people where they come and maybe they're scared or fearful, and then seeing them grow and develop and transform into a whole different person.
Yeah, that help with me too, and then I always have a lot of help, but until I get because my first instructor was a small academy, and then after 3 months I almost quit jiu-jitsu. Then I find the Gracie Academy, so I'm glad I find the Gracie Academy right away, because I probably would not be training. I don't know. It's hard to tell because I have a lot of love for sport, but change a lot the course of things,
For sure. So we talked about Master Royler and the effect he's had on the impact he's had on your life. So who besides Master Royler has had the biggest impact on your life? And this could be personally or professionally or both.
It's hard to say that. Professor Helio gave me a lot inspiration. I have the pleasure to because I used to work in the gym, all right? Helio gave me a job as a blue belt to clean the gym, to be able to train, because I could not afford to pay the gym. So that was my job. I would clean the gym, and I would be his dummy for helping him whatever he need in the private lessons or whatever he needs. So that was my job. And then Professor Helio was very strict, and then he always saw I never let things for later. So he always like me, and then he invited me sometimes to watch one of his classes. He used me as a dummy sometimes. I already had I trained with him a couple of times. He showed me positions. He gave me rides sometimes, he gave me 2 rides. I never want to take a ride again with him because it's look like Ayrton Senna driving.
That's funny.
So I have good experience with him. I have good memories for Professor Helio. And then at the time I was very young. I didn't know. I never treated him as a Professor Helio. I treated him as a sensei of the academy, And nowadays I have great memories, but I have a lot of good lessons from him. If I knew what I was going to be today, I come back time, I would try to take more from him, because, I was after Royler, not after him at the time, I would say that, And at the time, Royler had a lot of good students, competitor, and I was a purple belt. He introduced me to Saulo Ribeiro, which was the best competitor of the academy at the time. He gave a good influence on my competition game to purple to black, and then he helped me a lot to get with Helio. But the 3 persons make a big influence on my life, a lot.
Wonderful. So let me ask you, with all that you've done throughout the years with jiu-jitsu, and all that you've accomplished, what would you say you're the most proud of? The friends I made it, the fears I facing, the things I was scared. You used to make me not be scared. The discipline. I don't know. It just gave me so much. It's hard to tell one thing. The academies that I have such pleasure in
and teach and have a group of people who believe in my work and the Gracie Academy work. It will be unfair one thing because it's a combination of a bunch of things, you know.
Sure. Well, you've certainly made a great impact on a lot of lives. So my hat's off to you, and you have my utmost respect for that, sir. Before we close, do you have anybody? I know you've mentioned a few people that have been really impactful in your life. Do you have anybody else you'd like to thank or shout out to?
No, man. I'd like to appreciate all these people who helped me, like especially DC Maxwell, Steve Maxwell, and then Royler Gracie. All the students who's building me to be the instructor I became. I really appreciate America to give me opportunities I have to do what I love to do, you know. So that's what I'm most important. I'm grateful for God to give me healthy and give me good, wonderful people around me. And then if I have to appreciate somebody, it will be God. That's the one person I bow to.
Yes, and that's the most important one for sure. So wonderful that you put that first. All right. Well, again, I appreciate your time and your energy and your insights, and I appreciate you taking time to let us get to know you a little better. I really appreciate it, Professor Hedges, and thank you for making such an impact throughout the jiu-jitsu world. I appreciate your time, sir.
I appreciate you, man. Thanks for reaching out to me, and then I hope this was right.
Absolutely. All right. Be well, my friend.
You too. Thank you very much.
Okay, really enjoyed speaking with Professor Hedges. Stay tuned now for the Make a Difference, Make an Impact segment. Time now for the Make a Difference, Make an Impact segment. And today we'll be featuring the audio portion of a short video by Stuart Cooper Films.
I think success to me is, it's living the life that you want to live and realizing that, hey, everything's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be pretty all the time. I mean, there's going to be some, rough times. But the question is, are you really living your full life? What other latent dreams and things have you put on the back burner that you want to go out there and you want to experience? And are you letting that fear, of the poverty mentality of, oh, there won't be enough, or the scarcity, are you allowing that to go and cloud what your vision is for your life? Why would you hold on to something and spend a significant portion of your life doing something that you absolutely hated? We're getting to that point where a lot of people are waking up. A lot of people are waking up to the fact that they can go and do anything that they want. And also, too, that, the true life, I think the biggest impact you can go and make is helping somebody else. I think a tremendous amount of freedom that comes when you decide to, live life on your terms. I mean, what is our life aside from the way in which we interpret it? We can make things go and mean so many different things. And when you're caught up in that victim cycle and the excuse making, then you perpetuate more of that. And it continues to go and pull you down, deeper down that path, until all of a sudden it's you're so consumed by those excuses and the victimization that you can't actually see potential. Then I think once you pull out of it, you start to go and get a glimpse of what you can do, what can be possible in your life. You want more of that. There's way more to life out there than my freaking checking account. There's way more to life out there than what kind of car I'm driving. It's nice to have nice stuff, but past a certain point, it really doesn't change your experience of life that much at all. If your basic needs are met, you're doing all right. What are you passionate about? What do you really want to go and do to the world? Who do you want to go and be? Who do you want to go and help? The experience of life that we're on, it's incredible.
And that's going to do it for this edition of the show. As always, I thank you for listening. Hope you're enjoying the show. If you feel like you're benefiting from the show and want to show your support, you can support us on our Patreon page, and a link in the show notes. Please like and follow us on social media and help us spread the word by reposting our posts and telling others about the show. You can leave comments on the website at www.graciejujitsurocks.com. You can also go to iTunes and leave comments, as well as rate the show, and we would appreciate a 5-star rating, which helps us with our standing in iTunes. You can also leave comments on our YouTube channel. If you have suggestions for the show, please don't hesitate to give those. We always like feedback and suggestions. Okay, that's going to do it. So until next time, this is Marty Josie, and I'll see you on the mat.